Yeah, so we should be live. Excellent. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second edition of the FFS Tea Break. So, for those of you that didn't join last week even, I'm Kara. I'm a business psychologist. I work with the Employee Experience Project. I'm a little bit mad and nutty about all things culture, probably because I've been the liver of one too many FFS moments for myself that's driven that healthy obsession, I hasten to add. So the idea behind the FFS tea break is Paula and I have spent countless times chatting about the importance of keeping yourself sane in culture change, because there can be one too many of those FFS moments, and then realizing that actually that's not exclusive to culture. It pushes itself into HR and people spaces as well. So we thought we'd set up this little series as a nice opportunity to just get some excellent guests along. You'll be pleased to know it's not just going to be us rambling every week like it was last week. We've got fabulous guests like Anwen, who we have with us this week, just to talk through some of those FFS moments, but then what you can do with them, how you can keep yourself sane, how you can deal with and process the frustration, the anger, all of those things that you feel when you have those moments of thinking, is this just me? Am I the only one that can notice this? Am I the only one that's thinking this? And then take that and find ways to still be productive and effective, so you can process it, you can get over it, and then you can work through it to influence things for the better. And just to stop it feeling like it's defeating us, because we've all had those not again moments. I can't do this dance again. So it's 15 minutes for us to just talk about different topics and how we've experienced those things and how we've found our way through them. So without any further ado, I am going to hand over to our excellent guest this morning, Anwen, and let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Kara. I'm very lucky to get the opportunity to work with Kara and Paula from time to time. So it's lovely to come and join them in this way. So my name's Anwen Bottois. My business is Purple Sky Consulting. And the core of the work that I do is around supporting managers or individuals as they move into bigger leadership roles. It's something that I'm really passionate about and is going to absolutely focus in my FFS moment. If I can say that without saying the actual F word, that will be really, really, really good today if we achieve that.
Top mission for the next 12 minutes of chat.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So without further ado then, what is your FFS moment? Why does it matter, and what's the impact been for you and others?
I love this opportunity to kind of get onto my little soapbox about something that really matters to me. So I'm here for this moment, and I'm going to be here for some of the others to see what other people are going to be sharing over the next couple of weeks as well. Because these are often the light bulb moments for us, aren't they? The moments that either catalyst us into something or move us on from something, or whatever that might be for somebody. And this FFS moment is a reflection of my own experience and where it's led me to with my business as well. So we'll be able to talk about some of the hints and tips of how to deal with that in a moment. But my moment is around, why do we move people from non-leading roles into leadership roles without the support that they actually need? And that's from going through that myself, but also a 20-year HR career of recognizing and feeling the challenges and impacts of us doing that and not doing it well enough. I was very lucky to get some development, but it was well into the time that I was doing that role. So I think for me, that's a problem that we are missing out of, and it causes us to have those situations where we go, oh no, they're not coping, or oh no, they feel like they're not coping. And that's problematic. And if I think about my own experience, the payroll cost of my team was in excess of £500,000 a year. How often do you get given a bit of £500,000 equipment with no training, no manual, no supports to use that equipment?
Yeah.
But we do it with our people all the time.
Yeah.
So that's my moment.
Yes. And that's such I love that framing that you just used at the end there. It's you'd never no organisation in their right mind would not invest in the training of, or the training to use, or the maintenance of, as well, of a piece of equipment that had that much money invested in it.
Yeah.
And it's madness that people aren't thought of in the same way. And I think, from the other perspective, as that individual, and I'm with you, I've been there in that space, it sets a tone, doesn't it, of the level of importance that's being put on investing in you, and investing in you being set up to actually do the job well that you've been brought in to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And even just as a basic view of, what's the return on investment you're getting from the people that you have in your organization? Never mind the impact on their performance, their well-being. I was being put into this role and I had, huge amount of control and influence over somebody's day-to-day experience without having the opportunity to figure out what that shift needed to be. And although I might have had the ability to demonstrate through an interview process that I'd be able to handle it, that didn't mean I'd be able to do it really well, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the nitty-gritty then of what do we do? So what are our strategies? What can we use to keep going, to reframe, and to help others thrive who are finding themselves in this situation or seeing it elsewhere?
So I'm going to look at this from two angles. So I'm going to look at it from you as an individual. If you're in this situation where you've nailed that promotion and you've got promoted and you're really excited, and then you get handed the budget and the keys to this expensive piece of equipment and success factor for the organization without any development. And I'm going to look at it from a perspective of the organization and what they could be thinking about from it. So from an individual perspective, I didn't wait for the organization to develop me. So I recognized the importance of what I was doing, what I was taking on. And I wanted to be successful, not just for them, but for me. And although I could see that I was going to get some development at some point, it was on the horizon, I took the opportunity to kind of go, right, I'm going to invest in myself as well in terms of that transition and that development. Because if you're going into it, you've got to also take a bit of accountability in terms of doing that too, haven't you? In terms of well, how am I going to show up? What do I need to do differently now that I'm doing a very, very different role to what I was doing before? And therefore, what is it that I need to take notice of? What might be my blind spots as I go into this role now? Am I going to be able to let go of that technical stuff that I'm really good at and I really love and has been part of why I've been promoted? But actually now I need to enable other people to be those superstars, and I might not be the superstar. How do I make those transitions and do those transitions really well? And I can talk about how you can do some of that stuff in a minute as well. From an organizational perspective, there's a big question here about what are you doing? What are you doing for the success of your business by promoting this person? Now, if they've got loads of experience already at that level, maybe actually it's quite light touch. It's about helping them build those relationships, helping them assimilate into the organization really well. But actually, if beyond that, nothing's happening, then how are you going to take some control around that? If they're brand new into that level, what accountability as an organization are you taking to help them be successful?
Yeah. Nice. And accountability is such a massive piece, isn't it, on both sides? And having that, I think about, I've got background and experience in the military, so there's a very, specific approach to, leadership development and training there, and accountability. But I think for me, accountability and reflection go hand in hand. It's such a powerful piece and an opportunity after you've done something to reflect out of the moment. What worked, what didn't, what do I need to change? How would I do that differently if I was doing it again?
Yeah, really important. And I think, especially when we're putting people into new roles, and promoting them, quite often they're still in a transition phase. They're either picking up their peer groups and all that type of stuff. And it's a very different shift for people to make. Creating the space for them to reflect on where they're at based on where you need them to get to is a critical strategy for making this work well.
It's not always a strategy that organisations find easy, though. Have you got any killer tips on that, or anything else that you've been talking about?
Yeah, totally. So in terms of the self piece, so if you're getting promoted and your organisation isn't kind of investing in part of an onboarding coaching plan for you to make that transition successful, then get reading or listening to stuff that is going to help you anchor to the type of leader that you are going to want to be. So John Amiche's The Promise of Giants, or The Promises of Giants it might be, is an excellent book. As is Brené Brown's Dare to Lead. So if you are getting promoted and you haven't got anything else, at least read, listen. I like the voices. So I'm I'm a like the voices kind of person. And I like hearing them read their own books and their own stories. So I'm an audiobook gal from that perspective. They were so important to me in those first couple of months, those audiobooks, to kind of help me really think about who I wanted to be. Now, maybe I'm quite fortunate in I have quite a reflective growth approach in terms of how I want to be. And therefore that was maybe a natural skill that I was drawing on, or a natural ability that I was drawing on. But if you're not naturally inclined in there, you have to create the time for yourself to do it. End of.
Yeah.
End of. So if you want to do this well, and you're not being given the skills and the behavior development to do this really well, you need to do that for yourself. So that would be the personal piece, the individual piece. From an organizational piece, you talk to them about what you need from them in this transition. What does this new role actually mean for them? And help them to gain insight in terms of what shift is required for them to be successful. And then look at the development gaps possibly, or the strengths that need to be extended further, so that they have an actual focus for their development, especially in that first 3 to 12 months, so that actually they're getting to a point quite quickly where they're understanding who they are going to be as a leader and what development they need to do that really well. So those would be the kind of 2 strategies from that. I obviously can help them with some of that, but they can certainly easily fix some of that themselves. If you've got people in your organization who can have a great mentoring conversation because they're a really great example of what leading at that level looks like already, you can do that internally. If you've got access to coaching and mentoring support internally, you can do that internally. You can go to YouTube and books to find the knowledge. What's important is the transition of that knowledge into action. And that's where organizations can be more proactive to support their leaders.
That's magic, Anwen. And I think that's such a, who do I want to be? That's such a killer question, isn't it? From both angles there, and in both of those spaces that can be owned. I can see Amy is loving your book suggestions as well.
They are great books. If you're a leader at any point and you've never engaged in them, get those books.
Have you got any final top tips, any final sum up sentence? Like, stage is yours for anything else you want to share.
Talk to your team. Spend time with your new team, whether that is people that you've been promoted alongside, your peer group. Talk to them honestly about the shift that's happening, the change that needs to happen, and how that feels for you, how it feels for them. You will get a lot purely from finding the time to spend with your team and engaging with your team, and then alongside do some listening, learning, and figure out what that means for you.
Yeah. Peer-to-peer support cannot be
really valuable.
Yeah, you can't, don't underrate that. It's just such a phenomenal space.
Really useful resource, other people.
Yeah. Why would you not? They are there. Yeah. They are there. Talk to them, and see how you, because it becomes a two-way thing then, doesn't it? And it can be hard to be the first one to instigate that conversation, but
but I think again that's a part of the leadership skill set, isn't it? It's like, how do I take accountability for shifting these relationships and building these relationships? And that's the gift, isn't it? Like, that's what you're there for now, is to
Yeah.
build those relationships and to make them successful. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that mindset shift. Anwen, it has been absolutely magic. I wish we had longer than Paula and I might have to reconsider the format of this, because we need 15 minutes. I could have chatted to you about this for at least an hour.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us on our first ever guest involved FFS tea break. It's been a delight to have you along.
Well, it's lovely to be here, and thank you for letting me get on my little soapbox. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who's joined us to watch
Thanks
along.
for joining us.
See you next week.